Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Good morning, area.
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Let's go. It's the Pregame Show, baby. Joe Spadoni. You're stuck with me for the next hour. No, don't you dare turn that off. Come on. It's 5 a.m. Where else would you rather be? It's raining. Fall is in the air. Winter is coming. R.I.P. Ned Stark. Spoiler alert. And we got the biggest win of the year for the 49ers. And not a must-win tonight for the Golden State Warriors in an in-season tournament against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but a game that would, I think, help a lot of Warriors fans like it did for 49er fans just getting off the schneid. Here are two teams in opposite directions right now. Just last week, we were talking about, man, there's no moral victories, obviously, but you took some positives away from a loss against the defending champion Denver Nuggets for the Warriors. There are some things you could take from that game. Like, oh, you know what? I feel confident in our matchup. Now, no Jamal Murray, obviously, no Gary Payton, no Draymond Green. How much can you really garner off that? You had Steph, you had Jokic. Okay. All of a sudden, kind of the snowball here. You drop to the Cavs. You look slow. You look small. Drop against the T-Wolves. You look slow. You look small. What's going on with Wiggins? Right? You got Gary Payton II, an injured and infected finger. I don't think I've ever gotten an infection in my finger. Don't wish that on anyone. I hope he goes very well. I was always one of those kids, you get a slice or whatever. It's like, it's fine. Put some water on it or something. I don't know. It's whatever. No. You clean that. As a parent now, cleaning the hell out of that thing. Alcohol, whatever you got to do. You got to scrub that thing, then you slap the Band-Aid on it. You always used to get mad at the parents trying to, protect you as a kid. It's like, it's not doing anything. It just hurts. It's trying to hurt me. I'm trying to protect you. Always. 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text. The Comcast Business text line. Also, we are streaming live on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We're working today, Sam? First segment yesterday was all music. That was my bad. I could have hit up Sam Lubman, but I was not looking at the chat. And if I had done that, the chat would have told me, Spadoni, what the hell are you doing? So I apologize. On Mondays, on a Victory Monday, it's been a while. So my head was all over the place. I was in a Victory Monday. I was like, you know what? I can't just be focused on the chat. I got sound I got to play. I got, topics. It's not all doom and gloom. It's like, whoa, positivity. But it was funny. Yesterday, I screen a lot of calls too. I helped produce Donnie and Goo here till around 12:30, helping E-Dog Evan Giddings out. And even in the morning roast, the amount of callers I got in regards to the 49ers yesterday and not being satisfied with the win was shocking. It really was. I was shocked. A lot of, but they could have done this. Yeah, it was a good one. Not a great win. Someone literally called it that yesterday. It was a good one. Wasn't a great one. Okay. That was the best win of the season. Not even close. You can bring the Dallas Cowboys if you want. I think that felt the best because you crushed Dallas and Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy, right? That felt good because of the rivalry. But it wasn't the best win. Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville off a 3-game losing streak, beating that team who was the hottest team in football heading into the bye week, who were 6-2, who were, gunning for a potential number 1 overall seed in the AFC, and they still have, potential to be that. But the Niners went into that game the more desperate team, the more hungry team, the more physical team, and they punched that team in the mouth and didn't let them get off the mat. It was a TKO in the first quarter. It really was. So I want to hear from Niner fans today, 888-957-9570. If that wasn't the most impressive win of the season, then what was? I'd love to hear it. Because that was easily, without a shadow of the doubt, the most impressive win in quite some time, regular season-wise, that I could think of. Hell, going back to, last year, if you want to say Brock Purdy, Thursday Night Football, playing hurt, okay. Clinching the division, I'll hear that. If you want to go back to, the Dolphins game when he comes in relief, that's big. Jimmy gets hurt and you're already down 2 quarterbacks. You thought the season was over, and then it wasn't. Brock Purdy against Tom Brady last year against the Bucs. Okay, I can hear that. But in the Brock Purdy era, regular season, don't even think it's close. This is the first adversity Brock has faced in his career outside of, breaking his elbow, tearing his elbow in the NFC Championship, in which he didn't really get a chance to shine. So this is the most adversity he has faced up to this point. And how do you respond to that? By doing what he did. Throwing for damn near 300 yards, some touchdowns, making plays happen with his legs. Not throwing an interception, damn near close, but didn't do it. That's how you respond to adversity. How are the Warriors going to respond to it tonight? We have all the coverage tonight again. Warriors, T-Wolves at Chase Center. Coverage starts 6 o'clock. Warriors live. John Dickinson gets you started from Ballast Point Brewery, right down the street, right? So go over to Ballast Point, say hi to JD. He'll be there 6 o'clock, Warriors live, before handing it off to the great Tim Roy, voice of the Golden State Warriors, who will be on the call as always, right here on 95.7 The Game, your home for Golden State Warriors basketball. Can the Warriors get off the schneid tonight? They better. Otherwise, the chatter's just going to keep creeping and creeping and creeping. And all of a sudden, you're looking, right now, you're 11 games in. Soon you're going to be 20. Then it'll be 30. Sooner or later, it becomes a trend. Now, I'm not saying it's time to panic yet. No. Not when you have Stephen Curry, not when you have Draymond Green, not when you have Klay Thompson. Although Klay didn't have his best games the last few. Against the T-Wolves, against the Cavs. Quite frankly, outside of Stephen Curry, no one's really been having great games all season long. They've been inconsistent. And that's more indicative of what I would see this year than what I saw in the first few games of the season, where everything was firing on all cylinders. I thought this was going to be the team that, it might take a little bit to, get Chris Paul off the bench, buy in, all that. But it didn't. It worked seamlessly. Now, got some adversity. Andrew Wiggins, look, I'm not saying he's done. I'm not saying that he's washed. I'm saying that something needs to change. And I don't know if it can. And, I've been listening to Steiny for a long time, talk about this point. And there's some truth to it, but I also think, like every player, it's not black and white. There's some gray area in there. There's nuance to every single player. It's never just one thing or that. It's never that. With Andrew Wiggins, and Steiny's overall point is, for most of his career, he's been this sort of player that, just, what's Dibs call him, K-Wig, where he just floats in and out, 15 points, couple boards, 7 of 15 shooting, 7 of 18, That can't happen. And we had a glimpse, we had flashes. He was an all-star. He was the second best player on a championship team, playing elite defense. Going against guys like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. Going up against those dudes and stifling them. So there's evidence there that he could be that guy. But I understand throughout his career, he's looked like this. But not even this bad, right? Not even this bad. Going back to the last T-Wolves game, 25 minutes, 6 points, 3 of 7, 4 boards. Like, that's not going to cut it. Against the Cavs, 13 points. He was actually shooting pretty well. 50%. Be more aggressive if you're stroking it. 5 boards, 3 assists, right? And then to the Nuggets game during this 3-game losing streak. 4 of 13, 11 points, 5 boards, 0 assists. Just, that's not going to cut it. You're one of the youthful pieces on this team, Andrew, and you need to act like it. You've got the spry legs. These guys, Clay, Dre, and Steph, there's wear and tear. There's mileage on here. It's like a Jeep with 175,000. Once it gets to 200, okay. Might be time to get a new car. Hell, some people get a new car at 150. They're like, I'm done. Andrew, 28. I don't even think you've hit 100,000 miles yet. No, you're I want to be nice here. If I'm doing car comparisons to Andrew Wiggins, you are a Acura. I can't even name an Acura. I'm not going to lie. You're a Lexus, what is it? RX, something like that. A nice luxury vehicle that at times can look flashy. How about that one, Alexis? I'll take your comments on the YouTube chat, 888-957-9570, and search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe for your car comps for Andrew Wiggins. But Steph, Clay, and Dre, they're sports cars. From the start to the finish, they're sports cars with a lot of mileage. And they need some consistency out of you because they're going to be in the shop occasionally. Here's Steve Kerr, talking about having the best defense in the league for a reason.
Oh, I thought Minnesota was great defensively all night. They're number one defense in the league for a reason. They've got a lot of length, and Chris has them playing hard and together, and so they bothered us. But at the same time, we did have open looks that we missed. I think 12 for 43 from three. We can definitely shoot better. I think we will on Tuesday. But they're playing well. They're playing probably better than anybody in the league. Having beaten Boston, Denver, coming in here and beating us. So give them credit.
Give them credit. And that was, again, a couple nights ago. They're back in action tonight. Oh, real quick, we got a call. I think I could take it right now. Hey. No, you're not potted up, are you? It's all right. Hang tight, Vallejo. I'll get to you in a second. Just hang tight. 888-957-9570. Here's Kerr, more from him, talking about not being too concerned about the loss.
I'm actually not overly concerned, to be honest with you. I think, the season is filled with ups and downs, and, we're in a little bit of a spell right now, but, it's not like we were the world's greatest team when we were 6-2, and we're not the world's worst team losing the last 3. It's just, this is part of the season. And I think we just played, back to back, 2 great defensive teams that, throttled us, and we need to figure out some things offensively, and I'm confident that we will.
All right. For the first time in pregame show history, I'm taking a call blind. Now, it could blow up my face, but I'm trusting whoever's calling out of Vallejo, California. You're on 95.7 The Game. Hello?
Hey, you there?
I am.
Hi, you there?
I certainly am. What would you like to talk about? You're on the pregame show.
I enjoy your program very much, but I must digress to saying that the Jacksonville Jaguar win was the best this season. I'm an 88 Stanford Cardinal. When we beat Cal, it feels pretty good. But when we punch USC in the face, man, that feels great. I equate Jacksonville to Cal and Dallas to USC. When we beat USC, that's like Luke destroying the Death Star in Star Wars. And that's how it felt to punch Jerry Jones in the face when we did a few weeks ago. So Jacksonville to me is kind of likable. I see Trevor Lawrence as almost like the Jeff Spicoli of quarterbacks, but there's nothing about Dallas that I like, from their gloating owner to Dak Prescott, who I think deserves a pie in the face. So that's kind of how I feel, and I hope the Niners go on and win every other game, and I hope when we play Dallas again, I hope it's even more of a bloodbath.
What's your name, sir?
You can call me Heavy D.
Heavy D, I love that. Heavy D up in the limousine. Appreciate it, Heavy D. Fair enough. Listen, I never said it was not a satisfying win. I think it was the most satisfying in terms of the Niners smashing the Dallas Cowboys. Definitely the most satisfying. Not the best, though. Not the best win. Because, again, this win put the Niners back on the map. Now, maybe a lot of you are like, they're still fine. But the callers I was getting here, a lot of panic setting in. A lot of pointing fingers. It's Brock's fault. No, it's Bosa's fault. No, actually, it's the defensive coordinator's fault. He's an outsider. Get him. And one win. Crickets. That's the power of football, being a week-to-week league. You're not getting that in baseball. You're not getting that in basketball. Hey, the Warriors, they could have a blowout win tonight in season tournament. Is everything back to normal? It could be a Steph 50 burger. It is what it is. Those problems still may exist, but you know what? For one night, Steph went nuclear. It's fine. All is right in the world. But for the 49ers, that was an all 3 phases victory. The return game was on point. Kicking game, it was on point. I guess. Love you, Jake Moody. I'm rooting for him. I have more confidence in him making a 55-yarder than anything 40 and below at this point. It's unbelievable. Janikowski-esque, if you will. Whenever I would watch Seabass, if it was 50 plus, he's got it. Those 45 to unders, made me nervous. But special teams nonetheless, A. And then offense, A+, defense, A+. They dominated everything. They checked all the boxes. That was a masterclass in calming down a panicked fan base. What do you want from your team? Anytime you face adversity, anytime you're on a little bit of a losing streak, you want them to flex their muscles when their backs are against the wall. And that's what they did. They certainly did. But again, best victory. maybe not the most satisfying, beating the likes of, the Cowboys, and they got an opportunity to have an even better win when they face the Philadelphia Eagles in a couple of weeks. That could be a preview of the NFC Championship. Now, maybe the Detroit Lions will have something to say about that. Maybe a rematch of the Dallas Cowboys. We shall see. The NFC, I've been saying it all along. It's a two-horse race still. Not quite a believer in the Lions winning the whole thing. I don't think anyone's saying that really, but if they have the number 1 seed, do I want to have to travel to Detroit in that dome and against that offense? I'd rather not. I wouldn't fear them if I'm the Niners, but I would rather not play them in Detroit. What? We were talking about this yesterday, Sam. Have they even ever had a home playoff game in Detroit in the post-merger?
Not since 93, I believe.
Okay, 90. That's right. When we were barely born. There you go. Shout out millennials. Yeah, we're still millennials. We're in the younger demographic, but we count. All right? 93 till infinity, baby. Good morning to all of you on the Twitch and YouTube broadcasts. Dublin Marge, my family, Jay LaFrey, 187. Living on the edge. Appreciate you guys. Hey, my family, Spadoni, please acknowledge the 50,000 subscribers for 95.7. We have 50,000. Sammy, did you see that? Was that yesterday or was that right now? Dude, pregame show carrying the station right now, bringing in all the subscribers. You know how many times I say like and subscribe? Like 5 times a show. Now, I may be gathering my thoughts, or I'm just a great salesman.
We do have 50,000. I wonder when that happened, because we've been talking about it for a while.
Happened this morning. We had like 47,000. I got 3,000 just in the last couple minutes.
There you go. If I knew where the trumpet drop was, I'd play it right now.
R.I.P. all the drops we used to have. It is what it is. I need to find. Hold on, and I'll grab it. But Sam, you need to hear one of the greatest drops of all time. Real quick, as we're talking Warriors and we're talking Niners here. 888-957-9570. Are you worried about the Golden State Warriors? And are you still worried about the San Francisco 49ers? Because I ain't. Niners worry completely out the door. Now, if they face plant against the Buccaneers, then maybe this team has real problems. I don't see that happening. I think they are going to crush Baker Mayfield. I think Chase Young and Nick Bosa both hate Baker Mayfield, going back to their Ohio State days, going back to Oklahoma, planting the flag in the Ohio State University. Chase Young was on that team. Nick Bosa was on that team. And they're going to destroy him. Lock that in. How about that? Now, Mike Evans might have a bomb. Chris Godwin, maybe. But I'm not betting against this Niners team this week. I'll tell you that. What's the line on that game anyways? 49ers, Bucks line. 10.5 points. Yeah, that's about right. I was going to say 10. Okay. 10.5. Again, style points, I'm past that, but you should handle this team. And then, quick turnaround for Turkey Day. Where's my drop? Give it to me. Thank you. Seattle Seahawks, baby. Can't be any turkey on the 50 this year. No, sir. Not going to have that happen. And if it is, it's going to be up in Seattle, where I'm sure it'll be nice and wet, which would, soggy turkey, gross. Got to have the nice skin on there too, nice and crispy. Oh, I love Thanksgiving food. I do. I think it gets a bad rap. A lot of people say it's overrated. Turkey is. No. It's because you're having crap turkey. All right? You need to either deep fry that sucker or be able to know how to just cook it long enough to where it's still juicy and it's not dried out. And you got to season the hell out of it. It's always about the seasoning, okay? I see all these videos, these how to cook videos, these little TikTok things. It's like they put just salt. Sometimes they just put salt, which is just like, okay, what are we doing here? Now, that's fine, like just some coarse sea salt. If you're doing like a nice steak, like a Wagyu or, I don't know, something high quality, like a a New York strip, something like that, filet mignon, because you're letting the meat, the quality of the meat shine. That's fine. But with like a chicken or turkey, gotta lather that thing up. I'm talking salt, I'm talking pepper, I'm talking every single spice in the cabinet you got. Rub that thing down. All over the place. All right? And stick it in the oven. There you go. That's my TED Talk on cooking things. Just don't be afraid of seasoning, people. Don't be afraid of it. The Italian herbs and spices are there for a reason. Come on. Anytime I see lack of seasoning in anything,
I want to pick a fight.
that's true. It makes me mad, actually. As an Italian, I am offended. It's not hard to season. It's just not. Will we see a little seasoning on the Golden State Warriors lineup tonight? We shall see. 888-957-9570. Warriors, T-Wolves back in action tonight. In-season tournament. Let's see those courts, baby. Can't wait. I like the courts. I don't care. This whole in-season tournament thing, it's kind of a shtick. It's kind of fun. I'm enjoying it for what it is. And also, I get to see Anthony Edwards again. Now, the Warriors might not. He was doing some trash talking. Him, Draymond Green, amongst others. Hey, Draymond, let's not get ejected. Can we not do that this time around? Let's not get ejected. I understand it was over the weekend. Different team. Let's cooler heads prevail. All right, that's old Draymond. That's January in OKC Draymond. Well, in OKC is pretty damn good. 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text, the Comcast Business text line. We got to take a quick break. Come on back. More of your phone calls, more of your texts, and more on the Twitch and YouTube chat. 50,000. Woo! 50,000 subscribers. I don't have applause, so I'm just doing the Jabba laugh. That's fine. Jabba had like 2 million subscribers back in the day. In a galaxy far, far away a long time ago.
And then he had 0.
And then he had 0. Night, night. See you later. Hate to see it. Princess Leia, spoiler alert, chokes him out. Princess Leia was about that life.
Spoiler on Jabba's death. That's an all-timer.
It's an all-timer. The movie's only been out for, 50 years? It's fine. It's cool. Are we still doing, Citizen Kane stuff? Can we, spoil that or, I don't know, any other old movie, old film? 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. Are all your worries gone from the San Francisco 49ers? Did they eradicate any worries or concerns that you had with that win over the Jacksonville Jaguars? I want to hear from you. 888-957-9570. On the flip side, how worried are you about the Golden State Warriors? Because it's starting to creep in a little bit, just a little, for me. We'll talk about that more on the other side. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Prescriptions require an online consult.
and The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Dub Nation, this is Tim Roy, and you're listening to the Pregame Show on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks, Tim. Don't worry, Sam. We're back. Sam Lumman's actually going to join me for a little bit. It's a pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. We got Warriors. We got T-Wolves. Tonight, right here, 95.7 The Game, your home for Golden State Warriors basketball. Coverage starts 6 o'clock. Warriors Live, John Dickinson. Ballast Point Brewery. Go hang out. Say what's up. He'll be there live. Right down the street from Chase. Go say hi, and then go over to Chase Center and watch the game. In-season tournament. Cool courts. All that. Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry. What more do you want? Well, maybe not Steph. Questionable with a knee injury. So we shall see with that. Stephen Curry. If he goes down, or if he's out, night, see you later. And I don't think we were saying that the first few games. We were talking about the depth. We were talking about the young guys. Oh, the non-Curry minutes. All that. Awesome. But without Steph, against young, athletic, big teams, like the one you're playing tonight, the Warriors killer, Naz Reid, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, that would be tough. Very tough. 888-957-9570. How worried are you about the Golden State Warriors, and are your worries gone for the Niners after that win? It's a worry, not Wednesday, Tuesday here on the pregame show, and I'm joined by Sam Lubman. Slammin' Sam, do we need to get you a mic cover?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be in here for a few minutes. There's my cover right there.
There you go. Now, Sam, he's testing out some cool new features here with StreamYard and YouTube, and we appreciate it, Sam. We appreciate it. How you doing this morning? It was wet. Good. Sam, by the way, gave me a ride this morning. I appreciate it. Getting the flat fix. I got a flat tire yesterday. Horrible. Never a good time. But you know what? When you got a teammate like Sam Lubman, who only lives, like 10 minutes away, it helps. So thank you, Sam.
That's what we do. We're down. We pick each other up. We help each other out. And then we got to scooter on into work today.
I know. I kind of blew past you. I was just like,
I got
whatever.
Caught on the light, so
it's tough.
Wet out. I'm not trying to take a spill. I was over at my grandparents over the weekend. My grandma was asking, "Did you get a helmet for your scooter?" I was like, "No, of course not. I'm not a nerd." And she did not appreciate that answer.
Yeah, it's nerdy to wear a helmet when you're going 20 miles an hour in the rain, and then heaven forbid you hit a bump. Yeah.
Look cool.
I get a little head trauma, but at least I'm not a nerd.
The fireman scraped me off the ground. It's like, hey, this guy is pretty cool though, riding without a helmet.
Oh man. So Sam, obviously host Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys here at 95.7 The Game. Mm-hmm. You and Joe Shasky doing a hell of a job. Hot stove stuff coming up real quick. I want to plug that. Hot stove.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll probably get an hot stove episode at some point.
All right, there you go. I think only one manager, by the way, in baseball has not been hired yet. There's a lot of openings. It's San Diego now. It's down to San Diego. Who will they hire? Everyone else is filled up. Obviously, Bob Melvin here. You got Stephen Vogt, former A&M Giant over in Cleveland. So, Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys, hell of a job. If you guys love the orange and black, follow, like, subscribe. All right. Back to the Warriors.
What's
going on with the Warriors, Sammy? Is it time to panic yet? 3-game losing streak? Is this a must-win tonight?
It's still November. I don't think you want to play the panic game just yet, but there are some serious roster concerns right now that at this point, I'm not really sure what the fix is right now. And we talked about a little bit yesterday on the Morning Roast where teams that are young, teams that are long and athletic, they're going to give, the Warriors trouble because they're an older team and they're a smaller team. And the problem with that is there's a lot of teams that are really long and really young and really athletic in the league these days. So that's going to be a problem for the Warriors. Someone else not named Steph Curry needs to start scoring at some point. Like, it can't just be Steph carrying these guys the entire time. And of course, the big one is obviously Andrew Wiggins. There's the whole how long do you wait till you start really hitting the panic button on Wiggins. Yeah. I'm starting to see people like, oh, you got to trade Wiggins. You got to move off him now. And my response to that is, what are you getting from him right now? I mean, it's a dude whose ceiling is if he's your third best player, you're doing good. If you expect anything more than that, you're going to be in trouble. And his value is at an all-time low right now. So, I always talk to Bonte about this. Something he says, there's always a sucker in the NBA. Someone is going to make this stupid trade, think that they can fix Wiggins. But that sucker has to have something that the Warriors can use. And the Warriors need size. And I don't know if the Warriors are getting, size matters. I don't know if the Warriors are getting the correct amount of size just by trading Andrew Wiggins right now, unless they're adding in something that maybe they don't want to part with, like a Moses Moody, like a Jonathan Kuminga, guys who are theoretically part of the Warriors' future. So you don't want to see the Warriors give up too much to get something that's not even going to help them out. And so if you can't make a move, then it's like, well, okay, I guess then this current roster has to figure it out. And I feel like when you get into just figure it out mode, there's not really anything you could do outside to fix this. It's an unenviable position that the Warriors are in right now.
To your point, this season so far for Andrew Wiggins, 10.5 points. He's averaging 3.7 boards, 41.2% field goal percentage, 50% free throw, just 15% from beyond the arc. Just not good. Stats are off a cliff. That was per Tim Kawakami of The Athletic. And by the way, I want to clarify something. Stephen Curry questionable tonight. I said knee injury. Let me clarify. Knee soreness. He's got
a boo-boo on his knee.
He's old. Yeah. I don't know if you're my second.
Every one of the Warriors is old. Like your four best players are north of 33. Everyone else in the league is like 23.
But that's the problem. The guy that's not old is Andrew Wiggins. He's 28. He should be young. He should be spry. He should be taking on this load when the old guys aren't having good games. When Klay Thompson, looks his age, coming off of 2 major injuries. When Draymond Green's getting ejected. Hey, Andrew, can you pick me up? In the past, in that championship run, he was able to do that. He could guard one-on-one against the Browns, the Tatums, the Lukas, all these guys, Jamal Murray if you need to. Right now, guy looks lost. And I'll say this, Steiny's been on this. For most of his career, he's been like this player. Kind of just, maybe I'll have a good game, 25 points. For the most part, I'll give you, 15, 16. And actually, I would take that early Minnesota Wiggins over what I'm seeing now. This is by far the worst stretch in his career. And we're talking, obviously, 11 games, 12 games into the season. So maybe it's not time to panic, but just, I think, concern is the right word. Panic, no. Worry, sure. Concern is the right word, because dating back to last year, and even the playoffs, which is interesting, Wiggins was playing well. Like, he had a 2-month gap, and then he came back, was great against the Kings. Very good against the Lakers, obviously getting hurt late, compromised in that game 6, just couldn't get it done, couldn't guard LeBron, and it was night-night from there. But he played well in that postseason. Right now, I don't know what was going on in his mentals, anything like that, his personal life. I don't care about any of that. I care about the product on the floor, and right now, it's just not good. Real quick, before we hit the break, best win of the 49ers season. Do you agree with that?
So far, yeah. I mean, considering all the things that were surrounding going in, the 4 weeks of just insane panic among the 49ers fan base. What team is this? This is the team that started off 5-0, the team that's lost 3 straight. You go on the road like that to Jacksonville, this place you don't go very often, against a Jaguars team. That's a good Jaguars team. They are on the up and up right now.
They were the hottest team in the league.
People were really worried about that game. They're not just like a 3-point favorite or something like that on the road, which is still pretty impressive. But it just shows that was supposed to be an evenly matched game, and you go on the road and you motorboat a team like that, like they did on their home grass. That's a statement to the rest of the league. Like, hey, don't be messing with us right now. We're finding our groove. Fred Warner was, seen in the Niners locker room after the game saying, fellas, I think we learned our lesson. All right, we're just take it one game at a time right now. So I'll be kind of curious, if you're to kind of, give them a little truth serum. What lesson did you guys learn during that 4-week stretch? Hopefully, I know the big lesson for Nick Bosa, it's called use your hands, dude. Like, you are not big enough to be bull rushing these 300-pound, blindside left tackles. You have got insane hand movements. You're incredibly fast off the line. You got one of the best rip and swim moves in the NFL. Use them, dude. And you know what he was doing on Sunday, Spadoni? He was using those hands. Maybe it was having Chase Young on the sideline. Maybe it was having Steve Wilkes on the sideline. It was just, it starts with him picking those fights out there, bringing that physicality on the defense. Niners defense announced its return on Sunday, and that's what you like to see.
There you go. Ooh, I almost pulled a Ray Ratto. There you go. Love you, Ray. Alameda's finest. He was talking about statement there. Sam Lubman just made a statement here on the pregame show with Joe Spadoni, baby. That was tremendous stuff. Sam Lubman, producer extraordinaire and host, Garlic Fries, baseball guys. Check out the podcast wherever you're going to go. We got one more segment here. On the other side, more of your calls, more of your texts. Are you worried about the Warriors? And are you now all of a sudden not worried about the San Francisco 49ers? 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Hey, I'm Jackie, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is the chicken. It is golden brown, so juicy, so delicious. It's the perfect savory start to my day.
Hey, I'm Matt, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is the freshly baked, flaky, buttery biscuit.
a local farm, get one labeled USDA organic or certified humane. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pre-game show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One more segment before handing it over to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky, the Morning Roast. They got Brian Baldinger. 7:30. Baldy's breakdowns. You know him. You love him. Guy covers the game of football better than anyone in the National Football League. NFL Network analyst, former NFL offensive lineman, Brian Baldinger, 7:30 Morning Roast. Cannot wait for that. Appointment radio. Watch him. He'll be live on Twitch and YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe there. It's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. And also, you can give us a call, 888-957-9570, or text the Comcast Biz text line. And also be sure to download that Odyssey app and take us wherever you need to go. And if you want to take us and listen to the Golden State Warriors, you can do that by downloading the Odyssey app and favoriting 95.7 The Game and streaming us, your home for the Golden State Warriors, right here, 95.7 The Game. Are we worried about the Warriors? Are we worried, folks? 888-957-9570. Simple question. And are you worried or no longer worried about the San Francisco 49ers? Because I'm not. That's the kind of win, convincing on the road off a bye against the hottest team in the league. Psh, they're fine. Well, what did John Moran? I think I need to get that drop. We're good in the West. I think the Niners are good in the conference, to be quite honest. Outside of Philadelphia, it's those two. And they are good in the West. I think they're going to handle the Seahawks. That might be tight. Thursday night football games are always odd, different. And this is going to be their second Thursday night game this year. I hate that, by the way. They should limit it to just one per year, but they've already had, the Giants game on Thursday against Danny Dimes. God, that feels like forever ago. Man, time flies. They've already had that, and they'll have another one on Thanksgiving. First of all, it's unfair to the teams to have any Thursday night games, but if we're going to do them, just one a year. It's so bad. The quality of these games are so poor, although this week, selfishly, I am looking forward to Thursday night football. It's the polar opposite of what we got last week with Panthers-Bears. We got Bengals-Ravens, both teams coming off bad losses. Woo-hoo! They're going to be hungry. Can't wait for that. Joey Burrow versus Lamar Jackson. That is quality stuff. It's quality. Let me tell you. Speaking of quality, 95.7 The Game listeners, because we're at 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Clapping. Audible clap right there. That's awesome. We appreciate you here at 95.7 The Game. I appreciate you on the pregame show. You guys are the best. The pre-gamers, a lot of you are roasters as well, but the pre-gamers, when I get merch here at 95.7 The Game, you guys will all be getting some free swag. I promise you. All right? I promise you. Seeing here on the Comcast Business text line, 510. I'm not worried about the Warriors. Better to struggle now than later. That's fair. Kind of like what the Niners did. But I'll say this. The Niners compared to the Warriors, much different teams. Much different. Niners are younger. Niners are faster, stronger, bigger. Shout out Daft Punk. And they're also in a much less competitive conference than the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors, third oldest team. Third oldest roster, I should say. They got Steph, Clay, Dre. Again, a lot of miles on those Ferraris. If you want to say Dre's like a Dodge Viper or something like that, that's fine. He's still, in an interesting sports car, if you want to use that analogy. But Andrew Wiggins, what do we call him? Lexus? No, we're not being mean. He's not a Pinto. He's not a Honda Civic. Relax. Well, right now, he's actually my Ford Taurus with the spare tire. That's kind of how he's been playing. 10.5 points, 3 rebounds, 15% from beyond the arc. Yeah, it's not going to cut it. It's not. That's a blown tire away from night, see you later. But Andrew Wiggins, where are we at with him, Dub Nation? And I hate to do this because it does feel like he's going to be the scapegoat the entire season, and that's not fair. It's not, but life ain't fair. Sports talk ain't fair. Hard truths cut both ways. Shout out Stannis Baratheon. Father of the year, some might say. And Andrew Wiggins right now is holding this team back. He is. He's hurting his team with his play. He knows that. He does. He's his own harshest critic. Monty Pools reported that. Many have reported that. Andrew Wiggins is down on himself. But I'm looking at Andrew, and I'm looking at his teammates. It's up to them to help pick him up. Because if Andrew Wiggins is in his own head, that ain't good. For a guy that we all know is very private, very quiet, keeps to himself, he's not Draymond Green. In fact, he's the antithesis. He is the opposite of Draymond Green when it comes to his persona. And if Andrew Wiggins is in his own head, and this is a precursor of the things to come, then you may have to consider dealing him. It's too early to do it now, but if this play continues and this team is hovering around 500 come trade deadline time, I do wonder what his value would be around the league. Because he's 28, right? He's in his prime, you would think. What can you fetch for a guy like him? I wonder. I really do. If his play is that bad. 888-957-9570, the number. Here's Stephen Curry after the loss talking about their offense being, started by their defense. Defense leads to offense. You hear it. It's a cliche. But for the Warriors, it actually means a lot. Here's Steph talking about it.
We're not like a paint dominant team where we get that with Wiggs slashing. When you have breakdowns because of the threat of shooting, you can get slips and all that type of stuff. We're not a team that's just going to throw it in the post and get looks like that. Never really have been, but it's about understanding like the last two defenses we played, have had two big presence in the paint, Mobley and Jared Allen, and then Rudy and Cat tonight. So you're not just gonna. We get stuck a little bit, and I had 2 turnovers tonight where you don't have a plan when you get in there, and those big guys are long and lengthy at the rim, and you don't have options, so you have to play under control in those type of situations. But honestly, if our defense, with the fouling and getting stops, that fuels our offense. That's always been our strength. If you don't, they have to be connected. So that's a big part of loosening up defenses that are, trying to make us take the tough jumpers and keeping everybody out in the perimeter.
More from Steph, and this is after the other night's loss against the Timberwolves, and they're back in action tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 6 o'clock, Warriors Live, John Dickinson, Ballast Point. Go say hi to him right down the street from Chase Center before going to the game. And again, we'll have all the pre- and post-game coverage all season long right here, 95.7 The Game, your home for Golden State Warriors. More from Steph on the team's offensive struggles.
I don't know what the numbers look like on the road and how much of a discrepancy there is there, but we've played, 2 good defenses these last 2 games. Haven't been able to. Cleveland was more our defense affecting our offense, but obviously you still got to put points on the board. Tonight was just a little disjointed rhythm early. You can't ever really build up a presence here, but get our crowd into it and really feel good about what we're doing. It seems like we're chasing the whole game. So I think the outcome has been because of a lot of different reasons, and we got to figure it out.
Got to figure it out. It's a dejected Stephen Curry, and that usually means he's going to come out with his hair on fire, but questionable for tonight's game. Right knee soreness. Concern there? Guy's getting old. That's what happens. He's going to miss some games. That's why the youth needs to take over for this team. Looking at Moody, I'm looking at Kuminga, I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins, looking at all these guys. Gary Payton, all these dudes need to step up. Clay can't be having these bad games consistently. Even more so if Wiggins isn't going to be there to pick him up. If Draymond Green's getting ejected in games, right? That can't happen. So, can't be all on Steph. Can't be. And that's why it's so frustrating, I think, watching this game, watching these past few games during this losing streak for the Warriors, because they started out so well with the non-Steph minutes. That was like a revelation. Oh my God. We always talk about the non-LeBron minutes, which always bite LeBron teams in the ass. For the Warriors, that was the same with non-Curry minutes for a while. But this season, early on, it was like, oh, Steph can actually rest? Oh my God, this changes everything. This team might actually win the title this year. Well, during this losing streak, some of that has gotten a little bit exposed, if you will. Not to say that it was an aberration, anything like that. No. Because they can get back to it. But to Stephen Curry's point, he was talking about it, those bigs in the lane, that length, that youth, the quickness, the speed, shows up more when the vets don't have it. And how do you combat that? Some of the younger guys stepping up. We're done here today. We'll be back tomorrow, 888-957-9570. Start calling, lining them up for Bonta Hill, Joe Shasky. They're fired up. They got Brian Baldinger, our 95.7 The Game NFL Insider, 7:30. Be there or be square. Like, subscribe. And we got 50,000 of them. Again, thank you so much to our YouTube audience. 50,000 subscriptions here at 95.7 The Game. We love you. We appreciate you. And we do all of this for you because without you, we wouldn't have jobs. Morning Roast next. 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The